Okay, what's going on, y'all? I wanted to show you some video here. Basically, I'm gonna mute and just speak through this. I'm gonna do a reaction. This is a video of me playing pickup when I lived in New York at Lifetime Sky before I got banned. I was just watching this with my girl and I was able to explain a lot of basketball concepts throughout this pickup footage. So, I wanted to make a video. Let's do a quick personnel rundown here, and we can. I hope this will be fruitful for everybody. Let me just give you the guys who are hoopers here. A lot of these guys, good athletes, gym bros. You know what I mean? Not quite basketball players, but still, they're around, and it's obviously great, welcome competition. We get numbers on the court. This guy right here, I don't know his name, but he's a good raw athlete, type 1 athlete. He's extremely athletic and natural. I don't think this tape specifically shows that too much, but clearly he has some basketball experience, and he's athletic enough to contribute in a meaningful way given the training. He does, I feel, lack in skill a little bit, and I feel like his movement patterns are a little funky, a little off sometimes, but he's got a lot of raw potential. At least this is 3 years ago now, so I don't know where he's at now, but I don't know his name either. But that's a guy to definitely note and pay attention to. Clark here, high school basketball player, can shoot a little bit. Was injured. I coached him actually. I think his TikTok, I'll give him a shout out. It's OT Clark or OT Flores or something like that. He had potential as a shooter for sure, and definitely improved since this video. This video was not his best game, but he's one of the hoopers that's actually here, so it's good to call him out. Obviously, the hoopers here kind of dominate. Everybody else is a big gym. It's a pickup against a bunch of gym bros, right? But there's still some things that are good to call attention to. Excuse me. Ben here, I think Ben. I'm not gonna say his last name and dox him like that, but he was a former high school basketball player, I believe. He had a good jump shot, unorthodox shooting form. Short, obviously, all of us are short here. Most of us are below 6'3", 6'4". I think all of us are below 6'4" on this court, and Ben and I are both below 6 foot. Will Gilbert, probably the best raw basketball player here. Extremely skilled, extremely athletic. Probably 6'1", 6'2", good guard, good scoring guard. And then myself. I feel that I'm a versatile, well-rounded guard who can distribute, play defense, and score when needed. And I think, personally, this film shows me, probably makes me look like I'm the best player, especially with the breakdown I'm about to give you. But I think Will is definitely probably better than me, skill-wise. I do prefer my play style to his, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't play the way I play. I think that he's an ISO baller, which is fine, and ISO ball is right in some instances. And I think that I am more of a smart team fundamental and team-oriented player, unselfish. And I'm not calling Will selfish whatsoever. We've been on a pro-am team together. If I had to pick a player between him and myself, I would pick. It depends on what I'm looking for. Right? It depends on who's on the roster. But in some instances, I would pick Will over myself. In some instances, I think I would go my direction. Just depends on who I already have on that team. If I have scorers on that team, I'm picking me. So it just depends. Obviously, like I said, Will is more skilled. He's more athletic. I think I'm more disciplined. Probably a little bit better of a defender on ball and off ball with my focus off ball. So let's get into the footage. Those are the guys you got to watch for. And let's get into it. And I'll explain some concepts as we go. And you'll see what I mean. With Will, he'll break somebody down off the dribble. I'm going to score off of fewer seconds of holding the ball and fewer seconds on the shot clock. Need to go my way. I need to dribble less. Like right here is a great example. Catch. He gave me space. Simple decision. Shoot the ball. Make it. NBA range 3. You know how I do. Now these guys are going down. I just want to call attention to a couple things throughout the video, right? That's our boy right there. I'm talking about skill-wise. He's not, I'm trying to put this euphemistically, but he's not all the way there. But he is a very great athlete. He's a great athlete, and it doesn't show here, but he had several bang outs during my time running with him. Definitely worth the watch. Here's Will Gilbert. That's way too much space. I'd pull it too, and it's a great decision to pull it. His jump shot is more consistent than it appears in this game. But that's a good decision right there by Will. And as we get further along, I'll show you what I mean and why chose to. I uploaded all my videos during this time, but this one was a great game. I just happened to watch it today. I balled out. I mean, it's pickup. You better fucking ball out. If you know anything about basketball, you're not a casual. You better kill and pick up, man. And I fucking kill and pick up, I'm telling you. So as you can see, we got the ball. I scored the first three, and we missed three shots back to back. Obviously not great basketball. It is pickup. Very few passes into the possession. Not much reversal. Not much breaking anybody down. Just kind of just dribble it up and take a shot without passes. Zero pass possessions and shots. There's a lot of that going on, and it is pickup at the end of the day, right? Here's Ben working on Will, breaking him down, and that was a good take, I think. You can see Will's not really trying that hard. He's not playing great defense. Nor am I. Look at me walking around. It is pickup again. At the end of the day, that's a good shot. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this guy's a fucking hooper. So, he has a lot of talent and scoring ability. Now, this is ugly. that was a bad look right there. But again, I lost possession. I fell. I stood up, regained possession. I don't think that was a travel. I'm not happy with myself right now, walking down the court like a fucking pussy, bro. Putting my head down and shit. I do this all the time in pickup. I realize as I watch the footage. It is pickup, but you got to set the tone. And I'm disappointed when I watch this back. I'm really upset with myself with the energy I bring. I mean, it's just fucking horse shit, bro. What kind of fucking shit is that? How can you expect anything out of a pickup run if you're not bringing the energy yourself, right? And I'm a fucking hypocrite and a bitch for that. It's not going to happen anymore now that I see it on film. Again, here you go. This guy breaking down his defender. It's not his bag, not his game. And that's just a terrible take. I'm not angry. Look, I'm going to break that down, right? Look, let me say this before we get further into here. In this game, right? I think we score 17 points. I think we played a 16 at this gym. I had 11 points, an assist, and a hockey assist. Every single point we scored as a team, actually, I lied. Every single point we scored as a team, except for one bucket at the end, which was Ben's, was from me, right? And like the gravity. So that looks bad right there, and these last two possessions are bad. But just keep watching, and you'll see what I mean when I say I turn up on these runs, right? There's Will exhibiting the athleticism a little bit, easy rim grab. And obviously it's a low effort run for him, and so it's an unfair comparison. But I'm just going to draw some attention to play style. Again, zero pass possession. Clark dribbling up and shooting. We've had 4 or 5 of those. I don't think we've passed the ball once in the past 7 possessions, which is fucking atrocious to come to think of it. And even the first one, when I hit that 3, it was just one pass and I just shot it. So there's no movement, there's no effort. I'm walking around on defense. This is the problem with pickup. But again, still you can learn from the film, even when you're playing pickup, all right? You can definitely learn because there are some instinctive things that basketball players do. And here we go. Here's an assist by me. So I lied. I actually had 2 assists, I believe. Could have been. Maybe 2 assists. So there's one of my assists, and I have a hockey assist later, or perhaps I only have 1 assist. Or, I could have had 2 assists and a hockey assist, or 1 assist and a hockey assist, but the point is, I'm responsible for the majority of our points. There's Ben's layup. I think we played at 21, come to think of it. Oh, there you go. I didn't even see this when I watched this earlier. But that's tough. Yeah, we played at 21 for sure. There you go. That's pesky. Jose Alvarado shit right there. Man, I'm trying to get to the point where I can illustrate the point I'm trying to make from this video. Here we go. Rebound, pushing it down the court. This could have been a pass for sure. Now, this is the thing, right? Obviously, I make the shot. That's not a... What's up, gang? That's not a... Look. When we have several bad possessions in the half court, obviously Ben had a couple of that fast break and then the pickpocket in the backcourt leading to a bucket. So the last couple scores we just had were good, but those were transition points and kind of... I don't want to call them cheap buckets, but like they were not out of a half-court set where we had a possession and we're trying to score, right? Something I like to do is slow the ball down and just kind of get a sense of the court and have everybody chill out and want to play in the half court when we're doing shit like that. I like to do that in pickup. I'll just get the ball and I'll just calm it down and then make a decision. Obviously, the shot opened itself up for me. I'm now 2 for 2 from 3, so I'm not mad at myself for taking the shot. But there definitely were some passes to be made here, and I feel that, that could have been, I don't want to seem selfish, but at the same time, like Ben's open here, he can hit this shot. But I just didn't want another quick shot at this point. So what I was trying to do is reset and set up the offense. And to much of these guys' chagrin, who were basically wide the fuck open. I mean, you got guys. Will could have closed down on one of them, but one of them was going to be open after an extra pass. And, of course, I'm open. I shoot it. I make it. I mean, light contest here. It is what it is. At the end of the day, by the way, also, my shot is extremely low. I used to be able to shoot probably 50-60% from NBA 3 with this stroke, and now I'm shooting back below like just in like the high 40s because I increased my arc. So my release point is way higher, and I'm working on my shot. I'm shooting 1,000 shots twice a week. But that's that shot is not going up over a longer defender in a real basketball game against college level players or more. And chances are you're not getting that much space either. Here's Will. Now this is what I kind of wanted to point out, right? This is the difference between a player like Will and a player like myself. And Will is tough, don't get me wrong. But Will is extremely and almost overly, in my estimation, willing to, let's just count the seconds here. Oh, jeez. That fucks up the video a little bit. But hey, all right, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? 5, I mean, I counted to start a little bit late, but 5 seconds after crossing half court of dribbling the ball. Out of habit, I mean, again, it's pickup, right? Again, I'm just going to keep saying this is pickup. I'm not trying to shit on the dude for this. But just out of habit, that's I don't know. 5 is okay, but the thing is, you're creating no attack. You're creating no motion. All you did was end up, sizing the guy up and taking a step back 3. You could have gotten that shot with 0 seconds. Now, let's say that you missed that shot, right? Or you decide to pass it up because somebody rotates to you. You've just wasted 6 seconds on a shot clock, basically, from that. And I don't know about that. And that was not a value-add dribbling session, if you know what I mean. Like, this shit, what he's doing right here. And even NBA players do this. What does that do for you? I mean, at the end of the day, he's nasty. Like, don't get me wrong. The dude is tough. But when you think about it from a basketball perspective and how this contributes to team play, those 6 seconds are valuable, and they were wasted there, I feel. But great shot, obviously, and he's doing that against guys in pickup. But you got to think about it. You're doing this against me. I'm a fucking 28-year-old, gentleman that works in finance, and you're doing this against guys like, you know what I mean? Like, this guy's a real hooper. Is that going to be valuable? Is that going to be a thing that you can do against real hoopers who are better than us, who are better than me in the competition you're facing right now? And if I were his mentor, I would tell him, no, you got to make quicker decisions. You got to attack, pull it out, get rid of it, attack, reattack. You know what I mean? You got to be on the attack if you have the ball. You got to be making decisions. See, as opposed to me, I feel like on the same token, on the other side of the token, I cross half court. 1, 2, 3, decisions made, it's up, right? That's the most you're gonna see me hold the ball for the most part. You're not gonna see me dance and just like try to break somebody down. Now Will's coming back. That's now 9 points for me. I think Will's got 6, so it's kind of a back and forth between us in a way. Here you go again. Like look at what happens here, right? This is a long time, and that is tough as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. Golly, this boy is fucking nasty. And so, this is competitive back and forth between him and I. I wish we were guarding each other. I don't know why I wasn't guarding him. Usually I guard the best player. But him and Ben were guarding each other, having a little thing. But let's just count the seconds again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm going to stop because he's made the decision to attack there. But it's 6 seconds. Like, we're talking about 6 seconds, and as you see, that's not even as bad. As you see later in the game, Will has a habit. He'll go like 10, 12 seconds just isoing someone like that. And this is a horrible take. But again, 0-second decision, really, on my part. And I felt that was a foul. I don't know, you can't tell on camera, but at the time, clearly, I thought that was a foul. I got the ball, teammates trusted me. 1 second, and I'm driving. Like, do I think I could have kicked it out? Yeah, but there was nobody in the corner. Nobody was drifting down with me. I mean, again, it's pickup. There's less. Let me see here. Let me just critique myself real quick. Okay? Obviously, I'm not looking. So, At this point, I've decided to go, and I'm going off of 1 foot. That's not ideal. I did get fouled. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't like to drive. Here, let me be honest with you about my game these days. I don't like to drive like this anymore because finishing as a slashing guard in pickup is useless when you're playing against actual real basketball players. Like, why would I ever do that against a bunch of 6'5" motherfuckers in like a high level basketball run, which I've been a part of many times? No, there's gonna be a 7 footer in the paint. Like, I'm not getting that shit up, boy. Like, that shit is fucking ass. That was just a trash ass thing to do. Like, I mean, look, I mean, hey, I attacked. I'm not super upset. You're gonna do that sometimes when you're just playing natural basketball, and then I walk back again. I walk back. Like, this is fucking unacceptable. Honestly, that's very disappointing. And I apologize to everybody that was on the court and everybody that's viewing this for that. That's fucking trash. Jesus, bro. Like, holy shit. The fuck am I doing? And I'm calling for the ball. Like, that is toxic diva bullshit right there. And I get the ball back. And I think I do something with it here at least. So I'm going to count here. Again, I used to do that shit way too much. And I feel like I have a high rate of success when I do this, when I leap and try to find a pass. But again, that's in pickup against people who are trash. Against length on this court, this is getting eaten up and taken the other way. So I can't, that's another mistake on my part. But let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I mean, the decision's made. That was for me, that was long, okay? So I don't like to, and see, like, I like that Ben makes a quick decision too. The thing is, it makes you look nice when you hold the ball. You get a lot of camera shots and all the pictures and shit. But it doesn't help your team in any way. And I feel like that was even long. I was waiting for the play to develop, though. I was waiting for the screen to be set. I was just kind of sizing up the situation. So I'm not going to kill myself over that. I wasn't just ISO ball, going, everybody watch me. You guys bought tickets, watch me today. That's not what I was doing. So, I'm going to defend myself in that regard. But that's just something to think about, man. Like, how long are we really holding the ball for? What value does that provide? Set a screen, okay. Clark has now gone 0 for 3 from 3. And, he was working on his shot. Honestly, let me go back here. With Clark, right, he was working on his shot. His release looks good now, right? Look, high release point, right? Fucking up my video, man. God damn. High release point. Let me see what he's got going on, okay? High release. The one thing I don't like is that front foot drift that he has. It's front foot drift is fine, but it's the way he's doing it that's throwing me off a little bit. And I should have said something to him then, but I mean, I suppose it's fine. It's after the fact, but it could lead to inconsistency. Front foot drift, where you rotate a little bit in the air and land with one foot in front of the other, is fine because it actually helps you get your shoulder aligned in the air, like as you're going up. It helps you kind of come up and you're bringing the ball up. And your elbows, it's hard to have your elbow in like this the whole time, right? So you're bringing it up, you're rotating, aligning your elbow and firing off, and your front foot lands in front. Kyrie does that. I believe Kobe was another guy that had that element. I mean, that's not uncommon. It's not a bad thing whatsoever. But sometimes it can be kind of loose and flimsy. We got to tighten that up at times. I think that was something that Clark needed to work on. It was resulting in his shot being off. But I believe he was working on his shot form at the time, if I remember correctly. There you go. That's athlete A right there. That's what we'll call him. Getting to the rack. I mean, he was good playing off the ball, cutting 45 cuts, fast breaks, and dunking and shit like that, playing defense. He was a high flyer for sure, and he had some finishing ability because of that. But I would say that is the extent of his game. And this is just terrible. I mean, I did this a lot here at this gym. Not a lot, but I made those shots, believe it or not. That's actually a shot that I make. I'm apologizing to my teammates. I just want y'all to hear this because I'm not an asshole, okay? I am an asshole for shooting this, but, like, I was literally, I like, you gotta understand, I literally thought that I was gonna make that, like, in my head, right? Because I have made it. And I've made it for game winners before, from right there at that exact spot, no bullshit, or, like, on that half-court line. Clark says, Robbie, what the fuck? And I'm like, my bad. Weak ass push-ups. 3 push-ups. The fuck am I doing? I should have done like 5, but I saw the ball coming down, so I got up. But bro, like those were weak, fucking weak bullshit ass push-ups. But anyway, like, that was terrible, right? That deserved an apology. And then I'm fucking dicking around, bro. This is the fucking thing. Like, dude, I'm such a good defender. You guys wouldn't even understand, bro. I have videos up here where you can see my defensive ability. But in this game, I'm just bullshitting. And this is the thing. Like, I feel like I'm inconsistent. One of the things about my game is that I'm either playing great offense or I'm playing great defense. I can't. I gotta put it together, in a pro-am setting. So I gotta put that together. Honestly, I had one game in a pro-am, in a rec league, but it was like a pro-am because there's pros in it, where I had like 40 plus points. I think I had 42, 45 or some shit. And I strapped up a professional player. I strapped up Pablo Calderon, who was a former pro. I mean, he scored here and there, but like I strapped his shit up. You know what I mean? So, and Pablo was another guy who I think had issues with having teammates at all. So this is going to be another example with Will, right? And I mean, Will at this point, I believe this is going to make 11 points for him. So he's now surpassed my total of 9. If we're doing that really detrimental individual comparison, then he's got 11, I got 9. But I think my guys only scored 2 points and his guys scored 4, so kind of sets that shit up. I'm gonna do the count here, right? 1. I did that fucking 3 times. I gotta figure that shit out, right? All right, let's do this again. I'm just gonna try to we can do the average possession count. I'm not trying to compare myself to Will. I'm not trying to be on his dick, but this is a perfect example of a certain play style, ISO baller, versus a different play style. I don't know what the fuck to call myself, but I would say I play the right way, and I would say that he probably comes from a community where they say he plays the right way, that he's a hooper, and I don't do shit with the ball. So it just depends where you come from. But my play style, dare I say, it's a white play style. I mean, I don't know, but they're two antithetical play styles, and I just want to say, look, I had 2 3-second possessions, 1 or 2 0-second possessions, and scores off of that, and then also 0-second attacks, and then I had one that was like 5 seconds where I was waiting for a screen to get set up. He's had 2 6 seconds and this, and then he'll have more later, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. He's waiting for a screen 5. I mean, hey, that's a hell of a shot. He's a good shooter. He could have had that shot though. He could have had that shot before. And again, it's pickup. I'm going to say it again. It's pickup. I'm not trying to judge Will off of pickup, but it's, at the end of the day, habits are habits. The way you play basketball is kind of the way you play basketball. You know what I mean? Like, I don't do that shit personally. But at the end of the day, he's more skilled than me, man. He's a more electric offensive player than me by a fucking country mile, right? So I can't, I gotta give that guy credit where it's due. He is just significantly more eye-catching than I am at the game. It is what it is, right? But I think this is KD and LeBron, right? I mean, I think this is. I'm not trying to say that like play style wise, like this is. I'm trying to find a better example than that. Maybe like Chris Paul versus Steph Curry, right? At the end of the day, one guy maybe more fundamentally sound, maybe better decision maker. One guy maybe. I mean, I'm not going to say Steph Curry. We should take this down even further. Let's say that's Jordan Poole and I'm motherfucking Ricky Rubio, dog, or fucking somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? Of that caliber. You get the idea. There's Ben. Way to get to the lane. If it's 0 passes but you've attacked the paint, I can live with that, right? And here's another possession of Will, right? I gave him 5 seconds on the last one because there was a screen. Call it 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? Okay, so he took an 11-second possession. If you think about it, so I got college games, 30-second shot clock. You dribbling the ball for 11 seconds. That is not happening, my brother, my boy. That shit is not happening, gang. You are gonna get your ass put on the bench, or you might get shot in the head. I don't know that. One of these fucking coaches, bro, like a Billy Gillespie, one of these boys, one of these dudes might fucking literally just leave you there, bro, and take the bus back without you. I'm not even gonna lie, but lots of talent, lots to work with there. This is probably as good as I'm gonna get, so it's different. But here you go. One, I would say that's a 2-second decision, and then I'll give let's count. 1, 2, not even. Yeah, I'm decided to get to the rack, and I go up. Could have kicked it out, but I'll take that. I told Ben, my bad, I had you there. So that brings the point total back to 11-11, I believe. So yeah, he had two threes, a two, and then another three, and I had three threes and a two. So it was 11-11. Will and I. Um, and again, if you ask most people at this gym, they'll tell you Will's a better basketball player than me, hands down. I would disagree with that. I would say that, I think I'm better defensively on the ball, both in the post and outside of the post. There's the hockey assist. So yeah, I had one assist and a hockey assist. My team I had 11 points, that hockey assist, and one assist, that behind the back pass. So we have not scored without me, without me being involved in the play. And so that, I think that says a lot about my game, right? And I'm not the one even scoring all the time. This is uncommon for me to score this many points, frankly. I don't score 11 points in a game to 20. I don't do that shit. I'm a very unselfish player. I move the ball, I set screens, I do shit like that. But look here. You know what I mean? Look, make the decision. I see this guy with space. There's a closeout, hockey assist. It's a quick decision by me. I'm not looking to score the basketball. I'm looking to make the best basketball play. Sometimes that's a shot. If I'm going to shoot the ball, then I'm going to shoot the ball, and that's the best basketball decision. This is a 1-second decision, and Will's a little lazy getting back, but he's coming towards me. There's a reason for that. You know what I mean? I have 11 points. We have 14 points, or no, we had Ben had those two fast breaks. I keep forgetting about that. So aside from those, out of the half court, right, all the points we scored in the half court are through me, and we have two guys on me, one guy's open, rotation, kick, that's a hockey assist. For me, assist for this guy, good extra pass. Ben, way to knock it down. Like I said, he's a good shooter. He's got his elbow out a little bit. It's unorthodox shot for him, but it works. It goes in. That's all that fucking matters at the end of the day. So, you see what I'm saying? Like, with me and my play style, I'm a big defender and proponent of my play style, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't play the way I play. And there you go. You see the little bit of that athleticism. That was a funky jump for him. He could have easily threw that shit down, bro. That boy can jump. But yeah, sometimes I wish a guy like Will with this level of talent would play like me, and make decisions. I think that would make him a better basketball player. And there's Ben with the game-winning shot. But as you can see, guys, on average, I just wanted to play this out and point some things out, especially in the juxtaposition of the play styles between myself and Will Gilbert. I'm averaging probably 2 to 5 seconds holding the ball, and he's done 5 to 8 seconds. So who's more efficient, really? And he's flashier. He gets more oohs and ahs, and he scores. And he's probably a better offensive basketball player than me, just off the strength of being able to score. I think I'm better at doing everything else. I made this video about LeBron versus KD, who's a better offensive player, and I said LeBron because LeBron can set screens. LeBron can do X, Y, and Z. KD can do a lot of that stuff too, but not as well as LeBron. But KD can score more, and people will still give KD the nod. I think in this situation, it's we ended up tying up 11-11, and I'm not a scorer, but it is pickup. He's a great player. I just wanted to kind of draw attention to this, and people are going to say I'm dick riding because it's pickup, and I'm watching, he didn't sign up for this fucking shit, which is cool, bro. At the end of the day, he didn't, and you're right, he's just casually balling, playing pickup. But I do feel like it says something about, I don't do that. I personally can't even do that in pickup. I don't go to pickup and size somebody up and just chill for a second with the ball in my hands while everybody's watching me. I don't think that's the way the game of basketball is supposed to be played. And it's not a will thing. I'm talking about this from the perspective of a lot of people that do this shit, right? That are very good basketball players that do that, and especially in America. I think there's a huge problem with the system, and I think that I just wanted to highlight this game to kind of illustrate the difference and show how how that could be of detriment in this scenario where Will is clearly the best player on the court. Offensively and in terms of being able to score the basketball, it makes sense. Get in your bag, do whatever you got to do, and put the team on. But does that carry over? You know what I mean? Does that carry over to a real game where you have killers guarding you and killers next to you? I don't know, man. I think that detracts from the game overall, and you got to be able to be more efficient with the ball. And we won the game at the end of the day, right? So, and I think I had more assists, more buckets that were due to me. So I just wanted to make the argument for that play style, whatever you want to call it.